Hello, Sunday, January 7th, 2023. I think it's below freezing now. It's probably high 20s, low 30s, but I don't think the ground's frozen too much, so can't take the tractor, the lawn tractor. That's gonna have to stay. So I have to hand pull, so I'd prefer not to take more stuff than I need, but I think this is the minimum. I have our pole saw. I have the 16-inch chainsaw bucket, got a tow strap, gloves of water, PV, sledgehammer, and some slings and pulleys and stuff. So I'll give you a chance to ponder what it is we're going to do as I walk and pull all of this through the muddy trail. Hopefully I can use parts of the boardwalk that I put in. All right, some ice on the standing water, but the ground isn't frozen hard enough yet for the tractor, you can see, but the wheels aren't sinking in too heavy or too far with a reasonably heavy load. I probably couldn't carry. But we're not going to work on this section today. Today, we would like to have a look at this tree that suffered storm damage years ago, and then I think this past summer it suffered more storm damage. You can kind of see it was bent over and then it kind of cracked. And then, so we're gonna, I've cleaned off the limbs, put them in the brush pile over there. Now we're gonna come back and see about taking this down. So this, I would guess, would classify as a heavy leaner, since it is leaning very heavily that way, right? I mean, so the concern is cutting this section that it doesn't barber chair. So we're going to put a chain binder above where we're going to make the cut, as suggested in the a field manual. It says, you know, difficult trees to fell, heavy leaners, what you can do. So we're going to set that up and then we'll have a look. So this is what was recommended, my best interpretation from the field book. So you put a chain binder around it, pound some wedges in to tighten up the chain. If it was to barber pole, which I guess is like splitting up the middle, let's zoom out a bit, then this won't kick back and potentially hurt or kill someone on the backside. It should stay intact. So we're going to put our cut below, and my best guess is that it wants to fall that way, so we're going to let it fall that way, and then we'll it may get hung up. We may have to make another cut, but I think it's safer than trying to fell it sideways. Just let's have a look at this. I guess you really can't tell here, but I could put a notch on this side, try to have the tree fall towards me, but there's a lot of stress on that hinge sideways, so I don't know how stable that hinge would be. So I think we're going to try to fell it this way. Maybe we have to make two cuts. I'm going to set up with the tripod and then let's see what happens. There's our tree and our safety flag, since I will be working off the trail a little bit. Just want people to know where I am. I'm pretty sure it's falling this way. I don't want to put the camera over there. You know, I don't want to put the camera too close here or that way. It might fall sideways. backwards is a swale. So there's a clearing here, we can kind of see what's going on. I'm going to kind of zoom in, and maybe I will just change my location. And my tripod leg has fallen apart, so we're cutting right in between those two things, about that height. So I'm going to set this up, get the chainsaw started, and we'll see where Okay, so we kind of thought that it would come forward, and it's landing right on its butt there. So that was a notch in the back cut. It didn't barber chair at all, just dropped nice and slowly. So now, what do we do? You know, I could cut that notch, but then it's free falling towards me, away from me, the other direction. I could put compression is on this side, tension. So I could put a notch. I want it to open down. Yeah, put a notch on this side, undercut that weight. Yeah, notch, undercut here. That will make it want to open this way, and maybe that will allow that to go far enough to snap off, and then this will come free. But then again, which direction is it going? Or we could put come along in a chain and try to pull the top of the part of the tree out and see how that goes. Through all the brush. We gotta come along, some cable, put the chain around the tree, and we're gonna give it a tug and see what happens. Okay, so what we did, and I'll show you in a minute, but we pulled a little bit more, and then I went to the stump there, and the notch had bottomed out, so it was notch was sitting on notch, and I could cut the back cut all the way through, And when I did, it fell. Where's my finger? It fell this direction, which I would not have thought. I would have thought it would have came forward, but that's what it did. So now we're going to do a little bit of cutting up those logs, and then either have to get the log dolly or we got to pull them out of here. Just as a little recap, this was a heavy leaner. We put a notch in a back cut. It fell with this part over there. And then we used our come along to pull it, oh, maybe 10 feet. So here's the notch in the back cut. So we had a notch here, and we made our back cut, and it slowly tipped over. We pulled a little bit more, and then this notch hit up against this notch. So it wasn't going any further, but it also wasn't going to bind the chainsaw. So I just finished cutting the hinge out, and when I did that, you can see it just rolled this way. All right, so now we're going to cut this up and either use the log dolly or use the come along and pull these out of here, get them ready for the sawmill. I think what we're looking at is, let's have a look here. The tree pieces are two of them way back there. We're going to use the come along and pull those out closer. These two pieces in the front, I can probably get the log dolly too. So I think we're going to try to use the come along, pull those pieces out closer to where I can get the log dolly in, and then we'll try to use the log dolly and pull them out. Okay, so my shoulder's a little sore, so we're going to stop with the come along for today. We kind of cleaned up. Let's just have a look at the site here. So you have a couple of logs we're going to try to pull out with the log dolly. We've kind of cleaned up brush and tried to, not an arborist, but try to clean up some of the split and broken trees that the thing fell on, either from me or from before, and clean up the ground a bit from broken branches, put it all in the brush pile over there. I think we're at the point of going back for the day, and next day we'll bring the log dolly and see what we can pull out. I usually like to clean up my chainsaw right after I use it, but it's cold and muddy out here, so I think I'm going to take it back to the house and just give it a quick cleaning before I put it away for the evening.